Hello and welcome to Vines of Ivy Alumni Stories. I'm your host, Ivan Hernandez, and we are catching up with various Ivy Tech alumni and kind of seeing what they're doing now. Today we have Lisa Eylens. She graduated from Ivy Tech a few years ago, and we just kind of want to know, Lisa, what you've been up to. So if you can you give us a kind of a brief background about yourself, and then kind of how you ended up at Ivy Tech, and then we'll continue on to Ivy Tech and beyond.
Perfect. Good morning. My name is Lisa Eylens. I am from Gary, Indiana, and I found myself living in Lafayette as I attended Purdue several years ago. I had about 100 credit hours at Purdue completed already, and I am focusing in hospitality and tourism management at that time. So life challenges brought me to the fact that I wasn't in school and I was just a working adult, basically. Well, unfortunately, my position became eliminated at my job, so I found myself unemployed. I remember sitting at home and watching a TV commercial about Ivy Tech. And I knew a little bit about it, but I really had not even thought about it as an option for my education, to be honest. So after seeing the commercial, I literally jumped up, put clothes on, and went to the college. And I remember that was on a Friday. And so between that Friday and like Tuesday, I was totally enrolled in classes. I was able to talk to the financial aid department. I was able to talk with admissions and get back in school. So that's kind of how Ivy Tech was introduced to me. It was through a TV commercial.
I think our systems office would be great we'll be happy to hear that the commercials were that successful.
Very successful. So yeah, after that, I jumped back in school at Ivy Tech and started literally the next week. I went for a focus there for business administration. And so I was on a business administration track, but I also did human services because obviously in the hotel industry, I use a lot of human services techniques with listening and customer service and things like that. But I also am a businesswoman, so I wanted to get that business degree under my belt as well. So I was able to do that at Ivy Tech and really jump into the culture of the college. I felt very welcome there. I felt very appreciated and respected. I felt like more than just a number. And coming from a school like as large as Purdue, that was a good feeling for me, to know my teachers, to know different administrators, and really get a chance to know what the college experience was about. I felt that more at Ivy Tech in Lafayette than I did at Purdue, actually. So
it's kind of, difficult sometimes, especially being a fish out of water and, getting put in a big pond. And, I totally understand what you're saying. I actually went to a small school. I think I would have went to like IU or Purdue. I probably would have either dragged on, maybe graduate in 8 years or something.
Right.
Kind of getting lost in the shuffle. Because I'm one that needs to not necessarily handhold, but to have somebody there constantly, or just, a go-to person. So
right.
Were you involved on campus when you were here?
Absolutely. So the campus involvement piece is actually, I think, what helped propel me into the person that I am today. I was actually one of the Lampkin student ambassadors. And that was kind of my first delve into being participative on campus. And it really gave me an opportunity. First off, being an ambassador, you get to show students around the campus. You get to walk backwards and kind of talk about everything that's going on around you on campus.
Walking backwards is a skill.
Walking backwards is such a good skill, and I learned it there. So, but yeah, it was really nice to be able to go to different events and represent Ivy Tech. Because I was having such a good experience, I was like a walking billboard for the college. And it was a scholarship involved with being a student ambassador. So it actually helped me pay for my college as well, which was really nice at the time. Um, After I was doing student ambassador, it really just opened up other opportunities for me to be involved on campus. I worked a lot with different administrators for various projects like Martin Luther King Day program. I was the MC of that program. And then the following year, I was invited to help put the program on. So for 2 years, I was able to do that. Going to different churches in the neighborhood, going to different schools, elementary schools in the community, and talking to the youth about Ivy Tech. So that was something that I was really interested in doing, just to be involved on campus and really shine the light on Ivy Tech that I felt like wasn't happening in the city. Everything there was really about Purdue, and I really wanted to showcase the fact that Ivy Tech was the best choice for me. And I'd been at both colleges. So being involved helped me quite a bit to just, be able to meet people. I was an adult student, so I stood out a little bit. But it was nice to be able to meet people and actually interact with the students and the professors and the faculty at that time.
Great, great. So let's move forward. What happened after Ivy Tech?
So thankfully, I was able to transfer all of my credits back to Purdue.
Nice.
And I graduated from Purdue with a bachelor's in hospitality and tourism management. And I'm so proud to say that my credits transferred, because a lot of people don't realize you can save a lot of money if you take some of those prerequisite classes at Ivy Tech, and then you transfer them to Purdue or IU or some of the other colleges that we have partnerships with. And it saved a ton of money. I mean, it saved me a ton of money. So, and being an adult student, my parents were not paying for it. I was paying for it.
It makes a difference.
It made a huge difference for me. So yeah, I took those credits, graduated from Purdue, and I started running hotels. I started being a general manager of different properties. I've worked for several different management companies over the years now. I've been able to build 2 hotels. Wow. From the ground up, actually.
Could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so I was living in Lafayette after graduation, and I was still doing events and things for Ivy Tech. I was actually doing a couple different things on a board for Purdue as well. And after being there for 20 years, I decided to move back to my hometown of Gary, Indiana. So, of course, looking for a job was a little challenging because of just the lack of opportunities in hotels where I lived. Mm-hmm. So I received a call for an opportunity to build a new hotel in Hammond, Indiana, which is just right next door. And I jumped all over it. So, when I arrived on property, there was nothing there. It was just a slab and dirt. And, we were so far away from having employees. I remember thinking, what am I doing here? I don't know how to build anything. Yeah. But, in the process of building, I started having to hire and recruit so that once we were able to open the property, we had a staff in place, we had managers in place. And that's exactly what I did. It was a Holiday Inn Express, and it was my first construction position. So definitely a resume booster, a confidence booster, I would say as well. But the thing that helped me just to be able to take that leap was the fact that I built so much confidence in myself working with Ivy Tech and going along with, I would get a call from the president of the college. At the time, it was Dr. Snyder, actually. And he would want me to do an event or, work in some capacity. And so those opportunities gave me so much confidence in myself that once it was time for me to kind of jump into hotels and start building and just doing something different, it was that confidence that I was able to pull from that I had over the last few years. So it really all came full circle once I started building properties. After that, so I'm now living in my hometown, which is amazing. I actually live next door to my mom and dad, so I get to help take care of them, which is nice. But so I actually then started to jump into politics a little bit as well. So I sit currently on 2 commissions for our Gary City Council, which is really nice because I wanted to make the same type of impact here in my hometown that I was able to make in Lafayette, Indiana. Great. So it's really worked out great, I would say, for the last few years that I've been here. And I continue to be a billboard for Ivy Tech. We have campuses here, and I always am talking to young people about their plans for the future. I like to tell my story so that they understand, you can be just a regular girl from Gary, Indiana, but you can use Ivy Tech as that stepping stone that you need in order to learn about life, to learn about responsibility, and ambassadorship. It was really a good experience for me. So I continue to tell the tale. It's really fun.
That's great. Any other community involvement? I mean, other than the commission, which is great. I mean, do you do anything with like children or something like that?
Well, not yet. The one thing that I am still a part of, I try to still connect with Ivy Tech students as much as possible. So anytime I receive calls to help with, the youngsters, and I consider them youngsters actually now, even though they're in college, I do still try to answer those calls and do what I can to help, and even at Purdue, I am actually on a board at Purdue for hospitality and tourism as well. And we help the curriculum. We help provide the curriculum for the students. We help decide on what happens with some of the scholarship money. We have a huge impact on the department. And so I'm able to kind of get the students what they need, but from a different perspective. A lot of times I find that there's not a lot of diversity in these positions. And so I like to make sure that they understand that they can do it too. Mm-hmm. And so I want to do more in the community I live in with the high school students. I actually have a private LLC called the Eylens Group LLC. And in my private time, I like to work with, the students at the high school level, just so that they can get a little taste of hospitality. I find that they don't know anything about working in hotels. Oftentimes they think that it's like a minimum wage job and they're not interested. But it's not. That's not the case. We have very high level degree seeking employment opportunities in hotels. And so I have a 15-year-old daughter. Well, she just turned 16 actually yesterday. So I have a 16-year-old daughter. And so at her school, I try to just do everything I can to talk to students about it. And I want to do so much more with the students in high school, because I think if we can grab them at that high school level and kind of set them in the right direction, just as far as opportunities, I really think it makes a difference.
That's great. And it's also great that you're able to serve both institutions.
Absolutely.
Part of that. That's great.
Yeah.
What about your current position? Heard you got a new job?
Yes. So I am currently the general manager at the Hampton Inn in Tinley Park, Illinois. And I started there just a couple of months ago. And, it's really a nice opportunity for me because I've managed hotels for, 15 plus years at this point. And I was really looking for something that was going to challenge me. I didn't know how much it would challenge me. With everything going on in the country right now, it's an uphill battle managing people, number one, but also providing the great service that we're accustomed to providing. People's expectations are much higher now. So it's a challenge every day at my new job. But, I enjoy working in hotels. I enjoy the guests every day. I enjoy getting to make somebody's day every single day. And so that's what I try to do at the new position. And I'm just constantly looking for people to kind of take under my wing so that I can help them be the next me at my job, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's the goal. That's the goal. Always be training the next person to take my job is what I'm doing.
That's great. That's great. That's it's all about servant leadership, and I like that. Very nice.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, as we kind of run down on time, do you have any advice for prospective students or current Ivy Tech students?
My biggest advice is to get involved and introduce yourself. So on campus, you know, I remember walking up to the chancellor, which was Dr. Baith at the time, and introducing myself to him. And he became a very good colleague and friend, I would call him at this point in my life. And if I had never done that, got involved and introduced myself to people, I don't think that I would be where I am today. It really made a difference for me to be vocal and confident. Mm-hmm. And those are things that you gain over time. But if you can get to the point where you're comfortable doing that on campus at Ivy Tech, think about the possibilities that you can do in your communities and even in your families and your friend groups and things like that. It's really important to get involved and speak up for yourself. You've got to speak up for yourself and jump into opportunities that you maybe never thought you'd be great at. I never thought I would be doing, you know, interviews or anything for a whole college, but that's become almost my life's work over the last 10 years. And it's really been rewarding to meet people on the campus and have, you know, leaders. And you mentioned servant leadership. Dr. Baith is probably the best example of that for me, that really influenced my life at the time. And so, yeah, get involved and introduce yourself. That's my advice to students and prospective students as well.
Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah, definitely been on many college campuses, been on many Ivy Tech campuses, and the chancellors and the vice chancellors are not untouchable. They're love
not very approachable.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa, thank you for your time. We appreciate you just sharing a little bit about yourself for us. And I just want to say again, we're very proud of you and your accomplishments. You represent us very well. You represent Northwest Indiana very well as well. So
thank you.
We appreciate it. We all appreciate all that you do for the community and the state and what you do over in Illinois now.
Thank you so much, Ivan. It's been great working with you guys, and I hope to continue doing that.
All right, sounds great. Well, have a good day, and I appreciate you coming on again. Thank you.